Welcome, everybody, and welcome to today's class. If you are watching the recording, we just had a little bit of a great conversation. Come back at the class recordings or even at a TA Talk show and look for the chat. Mr. Man just made a, what is it, 1,322 $16 of profits on Ethereum. Man, that was awesome. Also, thanks to Alex of Crypto. Yesterday was giving those some cool shots on Ethereum, nailing it as always. And basically, I was also bragging about my boxes, my orange and blue boxes that I was predicting if we see the heads up on Donald Trump moving up to this box and then retracement, if we will see Harris playing out going down to this box and then retracing. So I think overall, I mean, I'm still holding a Bitcoin trade with still within that 25% in. I still gonna hold it. I'm gonna start moving my stop a little bit upwards. I don't think that we're gonna have a pump and dump, but I want to talk about it a little bit more. So, if you may, me, Alex, I'm gonna be taking stage if you're cool with it.
Yeah, man, go ahead, brother. I'm just happy everybody making money and let me know what you think, man. I'm excited to see what you got.
Absolutely. All right, just a little bit here. Let me get started. These are the boxes that I was making 2 days ago, since Monday, right? If you don't believe me, don't worry. Go check out the class recordings or go to my YouTube channel. We have all of the recordings. It was four, five, class of the fourth and class of the five, right? So we created these boxes, and I was telling you guys that I was expecting we were right here, right? I was expecting to maybe do that double bottom, and within those areas, I did enter at the bounce. Very nice stop loss right there. And also, as we were going through TP number one here, TP number two on this candle, and I usually do trailing stop, right, for my last TP. Also, remember that I was saying, guys, well, if we see being the elections favor Donald Trump, or if Donald Trump wins, we're gonna see a pass through. I was seeing it a little bit more, not as dramatic, but here we got it right. And then let me just control cities, and then hitting somewhere around these areas. And as the time goes by, a little bit of retracement, ranging within this box, and finally, if everything goes well and everything is calm and peaceful, we're gonna have a beautiful break up, right? If Kamala or Harris was winning the elections, or elections were favoring Kamala or Harris, well, then we're gonna see a little bit of a dump somewhere around these areas, and finally a little range on this box, and then we'll see what's gonna happen. That's why I left it like that on the blue box. So basically, exactly as we were expecting. And guys, I don't know. Maybe so sorry to miss this entry for what was it? Less than a cent or like couple bucks. If you feel
Oh
disappointed,
man.
I'm so sorry, my friend. So sorry. But I mean, we call the top, right? We call the top right there. I'm not into a short, by the way. In now, as we see Congress being elected and the results, I'm gonna be adjusting a little bit more my analysis, which is gonna be at least couple more candles to do this little TP formation, this triangle here. I want to see those candles, even a little bit higher here for that retracement. So we still have a little bit more upwards movement going. Remember that right now, as we are playing out at this point, United States has a very strong pro crypto Congress being built up, and I think that's fantastic. Hopefully, we do have a little bit of equilibrium. What I want to see for your country, for my country, for every other country, it is a well balanced Congress, slightly tilted to the president, right? That's what I want to see. Why? That way, the president can start pushing its promises and have the upper hand to push them, but not without resistance. That is always, always, always important that everybody gets represented. So hopefully we don't get a clean sweep of the Congress, but we'll see. At this point, it seems like that is the way. And remember that power usually it's I don't know. It's like kind of rust, right? Sometimes it's just superficial, but as time goes by, if you do not be rusted or protected against rust, well, then start eating through even the thickest metals, right? So just saying from conviction and because I've seen that firsthand. Another thing that I want to go, which is not crypto related, it is guys. If you're from the states and your candidate win, great. Right now it's time to celebrate, right? If your candidate did not win, that's fine. Today it's time to crave a little bit, to let it all down, to go over that maybe that sadness, that disappointment, or whatever, right? Just let it out. But since that day the elected president gets into the office, since that day, guys, if it was your candidate, you are even more responsible to criticize him, right? If you did not vote for him, also criticize him. Because at that point, when they take office, that's when they become public servants. And you need to get them online and watch them and always criticize them, right? Because that's what they're doing. If they're not doing their job, come on, what they're there for, right? Another very important thing is do not make the mistake of condoning everything that your candidate is doing just because you vote for him. You always need to have a personal opinion, right? Inform yourself, right? And then criticize everything everybody does on office for you to get the best results. That is just the way to go, right? So, other than that, guys, Matt Love, I mean, it was a pretty tight, I would say, competition. Since I would say 7 p.m. my time, I already knew where we're heading to. It was amazing. And other than that, let me throw it back to you, Alex. Oh, one more thing. We're making the goose head that I'm expecting. That goose head is gonna be pushing forward before the retracement. So far, seems like everything is going as planned. Everything could change in a second, split second. Be careful. All right, turning it back to you, Alex, because I think we got an amazing trade ongoing, isn't it?
Oh man, too easy. Too easy. I mean, not too easy. I mean, there's always risk, right? There's always risk, but it's like it was the way things were shaping up. And I remember like talking about the poly markets, right? And like the poly markets were always, 60-40 basically the whole time for Trump. And they would fluctuate. And that's part of the ride is having that uncertainty and wondering if the price is going to work out and all that stuff in your favor. And obviously managing risk in a situation like this, if we go over yesterday, it's very clear what happened, right? So we got the massive pump, and every time I believe Trump won a area, right? Every time he won an area, it pumped, and then it topped. Okay, all-time high price discovery, amazing job. Okay, so this is pretty exciting. We can see things like Injective up 20%, like crazy, right? Crazy. So it's beautiful to see. But let's just go over what happened yesterday, right? So we saw this push up, right? So what are they doing? We I've talked to you guys about this extensively, but what are they doing? So initially, the previous day they trapped traders in here, okay? So we know that trap traders. So there's always this looming doubt, okay? So they've created the narrative that you're scared that the price is going to retrace into this area. Like we are going to come in here and back into here. That is what they want you to believe, right? So what do? They push price up and they trap traders yet again, right? So they not only do you have longs in here, which are safe, and we don't know this yet, but they are safe, and then they have the breakout in the morning, okay? I did not trade this breakout because I knew that this was a fake breakout. Okay. And we talked about that yesterday as well. So what happens? Bearish divergence, rollover. Okay. And a sweep of a rollover, not just a little rollover, a sweep of a rollover. This is a very aggressive sweep, therefore giving us what? Bullish divergence, right? We always talk about when volume comes in aggressively, especially on the initial move. Okay, the initial move, we always look for a nice retest, and if it makes a higher low, this is going to give us a bullish divergence on that idea. As soon as you break structure here, you can say it's okay for me to get long. Okay, that's a very justifiable reason to get long. You put your stop under there, and like you don't get these moves every day, but that a typical retest back to previous highs is what I always look for. So I always look for this, right? And that's a very nice trade. typically very nice trade, and that would have, been a nice almost 2% move. However, conditions say that this was election, so this would have turned into an absolute banger of a trade. So understanding what's going on in the market, how to adjust for it, understanding that, hey, they're trying to say that we could sweep down here before going up if Trump wins, right? If Kamala wins, we're going to the absolute, doghouse, right? So there's that uncertainty kind of feeling. But as soon as you get this higher low here, you get the sweep and the higher low here, you should be okay in your analysis to say, hey, this area here has held as support, okay? This area here, and we can even go back into, the range, okay? If we go into like a 1 hour time frame here, and we look at this as a range. Sorry, 1 second here. Let me go over here, and we look at this as a range, right? Even if we go all the way back to, let's say, the Monday of 3 weeks ago, right? That would be over here. Okay, I keep using this because it's relative to where we're trading at right now. So if we use this as a range and we look at this generally, okay, we can say that, hey, we have broken out of the volume area in here. And I said to you guys, 68.4 is that hold. Okay, 68.4 is that hold. We held. Okay, so you can see that in there. Then if you go into the weekly in here, you can also see that once we have broken out of the structure here, giving ourselves a change in structure that we were talking about yesterday, break in structure, that was that, okay? So all we're looking for is a retest and continuation, right? And we understand that this has been a very, very key level of resistance. Let me just put it horizontal so we can see that too. And it held. It held, and we knew it was strong just by looking at price action, right? We don't need a degree or some sort of certificate to tell me that, hey, when price comes in here in the last week or so, it holds or it has to bust through aggressively, right? And you can see multiple times here. If you just drew a simple trend line, you broke out, you came back and you tested this trend or this horizontal line support, and you broke out. Okay, so there's many justifications for getting long yesterday, and I just want to go over them with you guys. Now, I did give you guys the Ethereum inverse perpetual trade that I did take. I have taken like stupid amounts of profit off of the top of that, so I'm in like stupid amounts of money for that. I'm not here to brag. I'm just here to say that, hey, we gave you the guys the idea. If we go over to Ethereum, and it was the same thing. It was the same thing. Okay, you can see here we held here. I got in around 2,400. Okay, and this thing absolutely ripped to the upside. Okay, so just being able to identify what's going on, right? And what do we see with Ethereum? If we zoom out even on a daily, right, we can see that Ethereum, and I've been telling you guys, watch Ethereum. Ascending triangles are very bullish, okay? Especially if you're holding these lows in here, any deviation below is going to give us that massive breakout. And what did we get? A massive breakout. Now we're trying to break out of this kind of downwards trend here. So if we get above that, we look to crack that $2,800 magical level of resistance. Okay, that's going to be the challenge, right? So there still may be a chance, right? That's why I've taken some off here. Off the Trump pump last night, I've taken a bunch off of here. If we do trickle back down in here, I can add, right? If we don't, then hallelujah, we're right, okay? And we're making even more money, and who gives a shit, right? So like we just want to be level-headed in this trade, right? So right now what's going on with the Ethereum trade is that, hey, look, we're in this downwards channel. We're trying to break out of it. It keeps pushing. If we get up to $2,800, we're looking for a breakout and retest. And you can also look to take that trade as well, okay? Any sort of flag in here, we can look to add and look for continuation out, okay? This doesn't mean that we're like blindly bullish, okay? That is the key that I want to tell you guys is let's not be blindly bullish, okay? Bitcoin, right now, all we want to see out of Bitcoin, in my opinion, is a range. That's it, okay? Yes, we have created a ton of liquidity down below us here. If we're going to, say this is parabolic, well, it is pretty parabolic, right? So if anything, you can see this is all liquidity within here, right? So within, I would say, when we turn on our tools, and that would be even better, but we can see order blocks, liquidity down below, and liquidity down here. Now, the key levels I have for Bitcoin for a retracement, so that you guys are privy to the information, is definitely in here. So we have a 382 bounce level that we have bounced off of right now. which is actually quite strong. So remember, we talked about 382s and how aggressive they can be. Okay, and where do we take our Fibonacci? Okay, when we're using fibs, which low? Do you take 1, 2, or 3? You guys tell me in the chat. I would like to know. Which one do you take? 1, 2, or 3? Where do you pull your fibs to the top? I bet you guys. I bet you guys. I'm not sure. 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. 2. 2. Why 2? Because if we're trying to pull a range here, if I'm pulling a fib and I'm trying to pull a range, well, the low of the range is here. So if I want a range fib, I will pull from the low to the high. Very simple. Very simple. Very simple. Okay. But if I want to find the fib from this move up to here, I want to go from the impulse move. Okay. This is the low. This is the low. This is the impulse. This is the higher low that started this move. Okay, so I'm going to go from this low in here. It started the move. We got to go with market structure. Okay, we can also pull from this one down in here, right? That would give us more of this range within here. We know that. Okay, but if I want to see where this move actually started, this big pull, right? I'm going to pull from this one here, and that's going to give me a better reading, in my opinion, just from my experience. Okay, so we can see that we did bounce off of a 382. So look at that level, how well it's respected. Okay, we have a 0.5 in here, and this 72,300, 400 mark is actually a very big volume level on a macro side. Okay, so because we have swept the 382 right now, that if we do come back down, okay, and look how nicely the golden pocket lines up with this order block if we do trickle down a little bit more. So what we can see is that, hey, we are flagging out here. We want to see a range established, and we want to try and buy the bottom of the range. When do we want to buy the bottom of the range? When we see a possible break of structure to the upside and continuation, right? Right now, this is not, in my opinion, we could come back for the highs, which is liquidity, but we want to see a range being formed right now. That's going to give us the key idea. So what I'm looking for actually right now is a little bit of a sweep down below and then a bounce. Then we'll see if we can catch that bounce. Everybody's looking for this bounce. Okay, so let's be cautious and wait for confirmation. The move that we're going to get off of an aggressive bounce off of this, right? And everybody, having clarity within the election, right? The move that we get off of here, even if we get on the train a little bit late, it's still going to pay quite nicely for us if we do take that trade, right? Let's just not be for me right now, I'm not trying to take breakout trades as much just because of the sentiment. The sentiment right now, fear and greed's above 70, right? So everybody's looking for this in continuation, buying the top, and then they're going to rug you. Okay, so let's be very cautious with anything like that. That's going to be very painful if you do get caught with your pants down or whatever they say, right? So you want to be cautious. As they continue to trickle up in here, people are longing this. Believe it or not, people are longing this, right? So let's not be those people. Let's set our trap down below and look to execute. Okay. For extension levels, I've gone through and I've put out a whole bunch of extension levels for you guys, so I can share that with you guys. But for me right now, my target for this breakout is, if we are going to continue, is 85,000, right around here, between 82 and 84,000 if we are going to continue. It doesn't mean we're going to do this today. It doesn't mean we're going to do this week. It just means that if we are going to continue to break out, these are my key levels. And then you guys obviously are welcome to those levels as well. So I will share those in the chat just so that you have them. And these are extension levels that I've done with my fibs and stuff like that, that kind of allow me to predict potential breakouts. Okay, so right now, looking for a retrace back in here. I would not be surprised if we come for the order block at 71,200. I would not be surprised. Okay, just a nice breakout, but they want to hold here. Now, another thing I am keeping my eyes on is the expansion of the Russell 2000. Okay, we've seen a lot of things go down, which was like China, Europe. So tariffs, they're anticipating tariffs and all these things with the election. Oil I believe is down too. I'm not exactly sure, but we've seen the Russell 2000 expand. Okay, this is what I've been yelling at you guys this forever. Okay, it feels like forever, and we've seen strength. And look at the Russell, absolutely coming up. This is all-time highs for the Russell. So right now we want to see established support on the breakout and then continuation, right? And this is just Donald Trump saying he's going to cut the red tape for small businesses. Okay, so for the Russell 2000, the micro caps of the stock market, this is what we want to see for expansion into, riskier assets, which is crypto. Let's face it. Okay, so and we can see a lot of strength coming in on the Russell on all this expansion. So strength, 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 and strength. You can see the wick. You can see the strength in this move. Okay. Even back in here, you can see the strength in the move. So for me, I would like to see this hold at least the highs around 2,300 and then try to move up to take these all-time highs into expansion. So overall, OC, an amazing, amazing day. But look at you scroll through the list over here 20%, 14%, 12%, 8%. Doge, the Doge play, man. We call Doge in our Discord as well, man. That was an early call, but Doge 20 cents, like the Elon play, even Tesla and stuff like that. If we go down into some of our tech stuff, we can see Tesla's up 13% as well. Absolute ripper. Maybe I shouldn't have sold AOC, but that's okay. I mean, we make decisions. We reallocated. So I sold Tesla right here. We dumped and then we pumped 20%. However, on this dump here, I reallocated this to Celestia and Injective, okay, to bring down my average buy price. So I took my profits from this. I've been holding this for quite some time in my regular stock portfolio. And then I lowered my average buy-in on Celestia and Injective. So, I mean, I think Tesla may have gone up, quite some nice, but getting in at the lows here on Injective has been quite nice for me for this massive pump. So we'll see how these pan out. These are some of my plays looking for these things to absolutely rocket ship to the moon. You can see we gave a Celestia trade yesterday as well. So I mean, things just absolutely banging. You can't get much more than that, baby. It's good fun in the market. It's a good time to be in the market, and we continue to hopefully show up for you guys, and we can continue to look for more trades. What are you thinking, OC? Are you excited?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, there was a little bit of a question that if we are expecting pullback. I am. I'm expecting to the price of Bitcoin to go a little bit upper or a little bit higher here, and then have that pullback to the downside. Not so much of an aggressive thing, but and then do a little bit of a range. Just wanted to do that really quickly. Oh man, I think an exciting week it's ahead of us. Things might be getting started to move. Altcoins. I think that is the big questions. I would say that altcoin would be a good area to start repositioning yourself because we could be looking at lows. In fact, big movers we've been seeing big movers for lower time frames. And remember, class, what was it? 2 classes ago, Monday class, when I talked about the Bitcoin dominance. I was telling you guys as we see Bitcoin dominance reaching or breaking the 60%. This is where I will start allocating a little bit of my profits into altcoins. Why? Because we might be seeing that people start taking profits out of Bitcoin and then putting their money into a risk, a little bit more risk on assets. So based on that, man, those moves have been very profitable, especially if you used leverage. And other than that, I mean, at this point, I think I'm gonna just chill out. I'm not gonna be looking for any other movers, and this is because I think we're gonna cripple up slightly, and I don't want to get trapped in anything. Today it's gonna be kind of like a day off for me. I will be pushing a couple of analysis, trade ideas, especially on the, let's just say, far side of the 15 minutes and the 4 hours, which means most likely we are not gonna get entries for today. But most likely we're gonna have entries for within the next upcoming week. So I'm gonna be looking at possible price action follow up. I try to predict up to 4 or 5 movements ahead on the price action just to get prepared I mean, we just had a big movers. For me, it's time to just cool off. I get my profits, walk away, smile all the way to the bank, right? Right? and yeah, just
Yeah, boy.
absolutely. And I would say, like, I don't know, enjoy it, cool off a little bit, but do not keep your eyes off the chart, right? If there's a chance, if there's a possibility, I will be taking it as fast as possible. Let me just do one thing here. Uh, let me, sorry for that. All right, let me get started. I was just answering a little bit of a video question that I have here. Let me just close this. All right, perfect.
Tacos for everyone.
Oh yeah, look at that. Love it. Let's get to the charts really quick here. I want to check out a couple of things here. One of the things is the DXI, right? At this point, we're monthly. I want to take a look at the 4 hour here. 4 hour, let me zoom in. We have a pretty nice movement, right? I mean, we usually see a little bit of a counter action on Bitcoin, but it's been pegged. It's been pegged to Bitcoin recently. Let's just look at is wait, this is another thing that I want to look at. Wait, let me retrieve and then replan for a little bit here. Here is Bitcoin. This is it. All right, perfect. Between Bitcoin and the DXI, well, we see the downtrend coming, right? The same trend line that was broken. And this is because everybody is bullish, right, on the economy. Why? Because we're having back that presidency that we were expecting, right? That strong hand pushing forward for the long run, right? Uh, then let's take a look at something else like the SPX. How is the SPX reacting? At this point, it is just acting as expected. I mean, what can I say? We're not there yet with a full prediction, with a full analysis. But remember, I was planning to have a breakdown. Yeah, it teased me a little bit. All right, teased me a little bit. I need to acknowledge that one, but still breakdown to my area. There we go. And then guess what? A move to the upside. Now, I mean, are we there yet? We're breaking above. I was expecting a little bit more of a range, but we actually skip it. So I would call this almost as predicted. And then you'll see that I have two lines. Why are those two lines? Trump being elected, Kamala being elected. All right, same thing as we were expecting. So the range skipped on me, which is fine. I mean, I'm not complaining about it. But right now, the point is, are we gonna hold this trend line? If we do hold this trend line, there's gonna be a very good one to be just pumping up. But also, look at what happened when we have fair value gaps, right? Or sorry, not fair value gaps. Come on, um, Alex, would you help me out with that word? It is a CME gap.
Order
Sorry, CME
blocks,
gap.
fair value gap, CME.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, the CME gaps. Yeah, thank you for that. So we're having a big CME gap in here. So soon, usually sooner than later, we have that retracement. What I would be expecting at this point is once again doing a replanning here. This is a very nice trend line that I'm seeing here, but now we have a lower, right? A low that is not a lower low per se. It is even higher low. So what I'm going to be doing is not discarding this trend line out of the blue. But what I'm going to do it is just let's just degrade it a little bit in here, right, and make it a little bit more transparent, not to give it that much importance. So we are making technically a higher high. I want to close above, do some little lines in here, and then retrace to fill up this gap. Maybe having a fake out like we had in the past, and then keep moving onwards. All right. If you missed your entry here, this is gonna be your next opportunity. Same retracement that I'm expecting on Bitcoin. So I think if we see this pattern, this is gonna be good for the economy. I think the bubble, because I believe that this is a bubble, the bubble will keep growing, and we'll see what the countermeasures will be taking as the office come in place. That is for me the most important part right now. I mean, whatever happens between now and the new economic policies, I mean, that is just gonna be, I don't know, a treat, maybe even a holding area, just nothing that important until I see how they're going to be handling the actual bubble, right? How they going to be really addressing the issue? If they do, guys, if they do, a little pain, it's needed. All right. So usually, how do you? I mean, how you disinfect a an open wound? All right. I mean, you also need to stitch it. That is a little bit more pain. So you just don't put a little bit of anesthetic and put a band-aid to an open wound and hey, you're good to go, right? You then get an infection, it gets rotten, and then you die of an infection, right? And I think that's what had been happening lately. We've been having not much of a treat for the actual issue, and that open wound is starting to, is starting to get some redness, some swallowing, so on and so forth. This is a special case right now that we're seeing the pump because of the elections, right? But what really matters to me is what is going to be the next policies. Depending on those policies, I'll replan for the S&P, I replan for the DXI, and also replan for my overall movements. But guys, regardless, I'm bullish. Regardless, I'm bullish. Especially if we see a big retrenchment on SPX because of new politics of how we're going to be handling inflation, jobs, so on and so forth, right? Because I mean, remember, need a little more pain. It's needed to do a proper healing. All right. So I think that's something that I want to tell you guys. So maybe if we start seeing dramatic things happening for the longer good, right? So maybe not immediate, right? Immediate solutions, but for the longer good. Do not if they apply it correctly, do not get scared. It is going to be a new possibility to reallocate your value, all right? If they just keep pushing, again, I'm going to be playing with the narrative, but keeping my trailing stop tight. Because at the time that the bubble blows up, I just want to run away out of it. Overall leads to inflation. Yes, exactly. That I also think that. So keep an eye on SPX. Another thing that I want to go over it is Mr. Man. Are you here, my brother? I don't see you. But here's yesterday we were talking with Mr. Man, right? So I would say boom shakalaka. I mean, we called it. Yeah, it was what for $2, eight from 8 to 6, all right, $2 away from the actual prediction of that possible double bottom, slightly cricket double bottom with a higher lining here. We were right here. We were as we had the class yesterday as a late class. Uh, it did as expected, then bounce up. Why? Because we see it coming. What we see coming, the Wyckoff pattern here, which give us 70% chances of rate of ranging. All right. So did we range? We did range, right? And then we burst really fast and hard as we broke above the zero line positioning as we have the last retracement, right? Flip of the ribbon and woo, off we go. So beautiful there on Ethereum. I was looking at the 5 minutes. I think Mr. Man had a great movement there. Good thing that he hold it. Look at that. We were talking about that trade yesterday. We were right here at 150x, and man, look at that, beautiful. Also, shout out to Alex that he was preparing a trade. What was it from 2 weeks ago? Right, 2 weeks ago, you started with the first DC8 entry, some low somewhere around here, if I'm not mistaken. Double down on this low and keep pushing. That was an amazing play, also. I mean, a great long played out. Another thing that I want to touch down, and then I want to throw it back to you, Alex. It is what is going to be your next Litecoin trade? No, I'm just kidding. But I want to take a look at XRP.
Never.
I know, I know.
Fuck shitcoin.
All right, but I want to talk about XRP. All right, XRP, the next stable coin. But I see a couple of eyes turning to XRP, especially on the finance world. I don't know if they're just rumors or stuff, but I mean, uh, I mean, also XRP is not looking that bad. It's just holding there. I mean, could it drop? Absolutely. Could we be forming? I would say a 1 hour Bart Simpson. Yes, but more than a bad Bart Simpson. Oh man, this is what I want to talk about. Do could we be breaking right now? Is it gonna be finally XRP movement, XRP army just blowing out? I don't know. Let's not get the high hopes here, but let's just let's prevent, right? Oh, for some reason, let me just reload this. And I want to see
You
my
think
oscillator
XRP
see.
is
Oh,
gonna go up?
I don't know. I still don't know, but I've been watching this pattern. All right, here now that I have my oscillator, let me give you my perspective. If we see flip of the ribbon here, I think that we're gonna be going up, and we don't lose. Let me bring up. Where's my support? There we go. We don't lose the 0.52 with a large candle. I think we're good. If we start losing this with wicking action and fast mover, I think that we're just gonna lose it and then go somewhere around back at 51 cents. We also have a strong, there we go, order blocking here that, I mean, not strong, sorry, soft order blocking here that has been migrating from bullish to bearish. So that's why I think if we start making the wicking action, this order block is going to get stronger and their gravity is going to pull us back down here. So I am, and let me tell you, I do have hopium. Let's just say it like that. I have hopium. I'm expecting to buy XRP, but I'm not just gonna buy because of the hopium. I want to buy as I see flip of the ribbon. And let me just be a little bit more precise
You're gonna
here.
buy XRP?
Yeah, of course. So this is what I'm seeing. You see this trend line here? I think is we have the flip of the ribbon there. I'll buy XRP, man. I'll buy XRP all day long. Well, not all day long, but a little bit.
Let's go.
Oh man. And I mean, I'm looking at a 5.3% gains just for that move. Just measured move, right? Measured move. We need to be clear about that. And that also pairs very clear with that blue line. And maybe I can even cut it short in here because of this big area of disparity, right? So let's just even be more reserved. 3.8, 38% at 10x with a very short stop loss. I think that'll be worth it. So something like that. All right, but only when I start seeing flip of the ribbon. That's what I'll start doing here. So I don't know. That is my plan of XRP. Let me draw my screen and pass it over to you. So what are your thoughts there?
I thank God this isn't financial advice. But no, um, you know what? You know what? XRP can go ballistic. It's an older coin. It's got a massive community. It's always a chance, right? There's always a chance. So don't ever doubt it. When it's doubted that much, it still has people looking at it and therefore can really dang. That's the price of XRP. It's pretty I said for me for XRP it's like unless it gets over 65 cents I'm not interested. Even then I'm still not interested, but like you're right about the 52. Okay, you go out even on a daily here. You're right. 52 right here has has been great support. But like even on the news of winning the
Yes.
court case, it just shit, right? Comes up shit. So unless it gets above 65 cents, that's kind of my level for XRP. And there's a bunch of people in my Discord who trade this thing like because it ranges quite nicely. Like if you can take advantage of the range, it's quite easy to trade uh as a trader. So if you're trying to trade, I don't know about holding this OC. I'd just be you know, you're gonna be like, I told you so, like maybe in March or something like that. And I'll be like, you know what? Congratulations. You had a 5x, I had a 30x on my Sui coin, but we'll go from there. Um but yeah, like very respectable. The thing with XRP that is hard to trade about it is that it's very choppy. You can see as it chop. So level to level, it's very respectable, as you can see, because it's old and it goes sideways so much that it's just very easy to find premium and discount zones. So you can go into something like your I would say your like 15-minute time frame, and just go into zoom out here, put on your predictive ranges, and you can identify premium and discount zones here. You see how it populates on this one over here, but it'll give you the same for these ranges, right? So even let's go up to like an hourly. Maybe we can look at it this way. You got a nice balloon dog pattern here, right? So you got you're up at premium, you got your equilibrium where OC is talking about, and then obviously your discount, but you can see you got your balloon dog pattern here. We're going to draw it for you guys, right? So what are you looking for now? You're looking for the snout, right? To break out. And that's kind of what you're looking for. So you can see this pattern on a lot of things. So this is nice Wyckoff. You can see, I don't know, with XRP, this would be more of the spring over here and then the accumulation and gone. But trades quite nicely. But for me, like identifying the range, trading the range, just like Bitcoin right now, like what I really want to see is just a range being formed. This stuff is, this is all news driven, right? So if I'm getting into the price charts now, Bitcoin, right, overextended right now, trying to break out, getting, the problem with the price action right now is this is trapping traders. So it's in a very, if we're talking about don't trade the hot dog, right? We don't want to trade the hot dog, right? Here's your hot dog, right? You're in your equilibrium, right? There's your discount, right? So you don't want to be trading the hot dog right now. You want to be in the outside on the nice buns, okay? So we want to be out here trading this thing, right? Until we get the proof in the pudding. So right now, sweeping down into these areas in here, right around 72,000. That's kind of cool. Look. I think they're copying me over here on their predictive ranges. They're copying my TA over here. Shows you how good they are.
That's a secret, right?
I'm
We
kidding.
go into Alex's stream and then we adjust the breaking ranges.
Yeah, yeah. Right. So looking good, but dynamic reactor coming in too. Okay, on the 15. That's nice. Okay, and as you can see, it's getting fat. Right. You can see how skinny it was over here. Okay, when we started this move, that's another indication. Look at the hold at 15. Look at that, man. This dynamic reactor is fire, bro. Look at it. You couldn't have. It told you reversal strong. I don't know. Do you need me to come and give you the taser to tell you to press buy? That's pretty much what this is saying, right? Um, and then you got your bullish divergence that we identified here on a shorter term time frame, and then off you go, right? Even gave you this is the one thing. It even gave you the retest of previous highs. Look at this. Let's see. Even gave after the breakout, it even gave you the retest of previous highs. So you could have just been like, okay, Alex told me breakout retest, OC trade. I'm gonna go here. I just give myself a 1% stop loss, and you could have got in right on the rip, right? Just by going to the all-time high, drawing a box around it, and being like, I'm gonna get long in here. It gave it to you, right? So things like that, right? The things you learn in here, things like this. I always talk about retesting previous highs, right? That's always a big deal. So OC is right. I think patience is going to be. We want to let the dust settle. Is really what we're saying, right? Let the dust settle. Let the range form. Let the idea form, right? Let's try and get on the long boat, but like we're favoring longs obviously, but we want to get on, we want to get on with a life jacket. We don't want to get on the hovercraft with no seatbelt and just saying yippee ki let's go to the moon. It's not how this works, right? They're gonna come for liquidity. It's just a matter of when, right? When are they gonna sweep, right? So let's wait for the sweep, and then after the sweep, we identify that sweep with volume, and then we jump on the gravy train. Okay, after the sweep has occurred. That's where we jump on, and that's how we should always be looking to trade with moves like this, right? We identify the sweep.
Favor before you move out.
We jump on the train.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Go to the 4 hours and keep the dynamic reactor on.
All the way down to 69,000. Bitcoin is fake. It's going to zero. Putin made Bitcoin.
What? Oh
Look
no,
at
but
that,
you're in
creeping up to
Bitcoin. I thought you were in
69,000.
XRP, my friend. I thought you were wearing XRP. Sorry for that. I cut out your thing there.
We
Sorry, I
can
thought
go
you
to
were in
we can go
XRP.
to I got off of XRP as fast as I possibly know.
Dude, yeah, it was freaking fast. I didn't even notice. I was like, that doesn't look exactly what I'm looking at here. Same little fish. All right, I just.
Here's your
Perfect. We got a
run.
little bit of a reversal, and we're going for that retest on the dynamic reactor, which is after this the spring and the breakout retest. Just wanted to also throw that up. This is not a guarantee, of course, but just like Alex was saying, let the dust settle. All right, let the dust settle. You also had it there. All right, I'm not gonna make you suffer anymore, my friend. Get out of XP as
Okay.
fast as you can.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go over to Stewie. Okay. Uh,
Looking very
so
very
yeah, I
close to
mean,
XRP to be honest.
not even close, bro.
You even got
I
offended,
sold
brother.
my Cardano. I sold my Cardano and bought Sui over here. So I mean, I'm pretty happy right now. Pretty happy. All right. But right now coming for all-time highs, breakout retest. So same thing as XRP. Very similar. Very similar, forming a flag. Okay, so same thing. Let's see if it does hold here, though. You can see the exhaustion wick getting bought up quite aggressively. That's what I like to see in a flag, not necessarily the same on XRP. Okay, is we want to see strength in the token. Strength in the token. How do you know there's strength in the token? Just open your dang list, look over here, and what is up over, like, let's say 7%, right? Okay, so 6%, ADA 6%, but look, Sol 11%, ETH 9%, okay, 15% Tia, 12% Sui, Injective 20%. These are what people are buying more of, okay? Aptos, weird enough, right? Look at this. IMX, Immutable X, Gaming Play, Super Gaming Play, 14%. SEI, another Sui type coin, right? Caspa going to the shitter, only 5%. Jasmy, Arweave, Ordi, Jupiter. Okay, these are all things that we're aware of. Pendle, Ondo, real world assets, right? Meme coins. So we can see meme coins that are showing strength. Obviously, Doge, Grok, right? Doge and Grok, Elon plays, right? Whiff, Pepe, right? Look at PopCat, 21% on PopCat. Okay, so if you're picking winners, right? You're betting on horses, whatever it is. Your AI tokens popping off too. Render, GPU, BitTensor. Okay, if you're picking horses and you want to pick your winners, are you going to pick XRP or are you going to pick Sui? That's just the way I look at it, right? So I'm not trying to be like negative about XRP, because the thing with XRP that you can't see on the charts is the amount of people who hold it, who believe in it, the community behind it. I know a bunch of people who all they say is you make an XRP video and you get like 40 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm like, I'm not that kind of guy, but you guys keep going, make your XRP videos, bro, because the community is huge, right? And what do they say about community, right? Meme coins, all that stuff, it's gonna drive price, right? And when your grandma and your best friend and your neighbor comes in and they can see XRP army, let's get in the army, they're gonna buy it, right? Because they're not doing the research, right? And then we're gonna sell on their heads, so it's okay anyways, right? So we'll be all right. We'll be all right. So let's try to pick winners. It's been a beautiful day. The S&P opening up today. This is the last thing I wanted to touch on today is that the S&P is absolutely making all-time highs right now. Okay, so you can see here on the daily S&P, my target for the S&P is just over 6,000. Okay, but big target coming up for the S&P, and OC is right. You need to be cautious with this because you've absolutely double gapped here. So you've gapped down and you've gapped up, right? So typically this gets filled, okay? And then you go. So that's something you got to be careful with any of these with the S&P 500 is yes, we've made all-time highs. What typically happens after an all-time high? You retrace, right? Okay? All-time high. You retraced, right? All-time high. What did you do? You retraced. All-time retrace, right? So great moves, right? The thing that is important right now is investors have clarity. They know what to
Yes.
expect now. There's less uncertainty in the. There's still tariffs. There's still, but they know that this is coming. So now they can place their bets, sort of deal. So that's important.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they all had two books, right? Kamala book and then Trump's book,
Yeah.
right? What's gonna be? In the meantime, they're just like, uh, 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 dude, what do we do, right? Now it's been elected that Trump
Yeah.
won out, and we know how to follow the manual, right? So they just had it clear right now, as you mentioned. I think that was a very, very important comment there. Also, I want to give you guys the heads up. Remember that I was talking about a possible bubble, right? Guys, I love to see copper. Copper for me is one of the greatest indicators of economy. What is it? What is copper used for? Guys, can you help me out there in the chat, please? What is copper good for? I would say everything, right?
Chips.
Almost. Yeah. What? Oh, got it. All right. Man, I read it
Bubbles,
wrong there.
bro.
Oh shit! I thought it was another word there. Queen Maggie. Sorry.
Creepy
Yeah. So I
McGee is how
mean.
you wrote penis. I'll say it.
Yes.
I don't mind. I'll get in trouble. He's got his
Fuck you,
Mexican
said.
goggles on.
Oh yes. Oh man. So something that I was expecting to see is actually the industry flipping back up, right? Once the elected president takes office, this is what I want to see. Why? Because electric cars need copper, right? Technology needs copper. I mean, electric housing needs copper. Do not buy that shit, which is a combination of alu copper, aluminum, and copper. Dude, don't. Believe me, I'm an architect. Uh, get it one or the other, but do not buy that mixture. Usually, when you have overcurrent, it turns to dust. So, not good, not bueno. So, you need copper for electricity, right? Man, there is so many things that need copper. I mean, come on, everything. Just look around you. There's copper everywhere, right? Your mouse, keyboard, I don't know, whatever. So being that drop of the copper, I have no idea. Let me come clean here. I have no idea what's going on here, right? But this is a huge dead cat bounce result, right? Well, then, first of all, we do see a little bit of a second TP for the short that we were in, or well, that we were expected to be. I'm not shorting, by the way. All right. Second taking profits. Usually, this is what I call the trade. And let's also just turn off a little bit of the indicators and start doing my own drawings. We have two trend lines. On the trend line, aiming to lose it because we are below the zero line in here, and even the trend line on the dynamic reactor right here, we're losing that trend line. In fact, I was expecting to have that bounce here and have a big bounce either there or here. I am hanging by a thread. All right, I'm hanging up a trade. That's what I'm also expecting to see. What's going to be the announcements for how we're going to be treating inflation, housing, electronics, bringing things back up here. So just so you know, this is one of the things that I'm looking closely, along with guess what, oil. So I don't see oil here. Well, yeah, whatever. But oil, right? Another thing that is very important to me, it is steel and aluminum. Aluminum, it's just hanging also there, but this is not looking good. We have kind of like a cricket top, and this usually makes a rising wedge. Rising wedge usually where to break down, or they usually break to a downside. So again, like economy signals are they're struggling. We're having kind of like a heart attack, a stroke, all right? But narrative is positive. So what do you do for? Well, I usually go for the narrative, follow the narrative, but I know that if that stroke is not attended at a time, we're gonna have that final moment, right? So close stop loss, be vigilant, guys. All the motion of the FOMO, do not let the FOMO drive your intuition. So other than that, we're over time. Sorry for that, Alex. I know you have another thing to attend to, guys. Thank you so much, Alex. Want to wrap it up and say the goodbyes?
Yeah, guys, have a great day. Be careful out there. Use stop loss, all that good stuff. We'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys take care, and we'll. Bye bye.